felt like going live today. Gonna wait for some people to join. We'll get started. So it's a rainy day. What's up, Hitman 23? Is that Jimmy Guns I saw? Hey guys, it's very rainy here, and I think, what's up, Ron? You know what I like to do on rainy days? I like to look at some baseball cards. I thought we could just talk about all things sports cards related. There's so much going on in the hobby. Man, these are exciting times. I just learned out about these NFTs. Pretty crazy things. Anybody buying any of those? My man came out in the new Sports Collector's Digest here. Got Clemente. This is such a great magazine. And it comes out every other week, so it comes pretty often. If you don't subscribe, man, it's a great magazine. So Hitman, the NFTs, these are like digital images, and like an image of the first tweet just sold for like $20,000. So it's kind of like a Bitcoin but for images, and it's pretty insane. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. And so they're doing this with card. Well, I guess they're doing this in the card realm now. And when Topps came out with the Topps Bunt Digital, I got into that for a little bit, but after a while, you realize it's not much fun. When they start doing memorabilia cards and autograph cards, and they're digital, just on your phone. And back then, I thought, wow, that's the end of the hobby. People are just going to want the images on their phones. They're not going to actually want to hold a card or anything. But thank God that didn't happen. In fact, it's going quite the opposite way. I think maybe that might be one of the reasons that the card industry is booming and younger people are getting into it, because for so long everybody was attached to their phones and everything was going digital, and maybe they want to actually hold something again and have an object in their hands. I was looking at some recent auctions, and man, some of these prices are still insane. And what's up, Regular? And one thing that struck me is it was just loaded. This past one was just loaded with Kobe's and LeBron's. And it seems like the modern cards are overtaking vintage. At least that's what I saw in this particular auction. What was a gold one, I believe. I don't know. I was just never that big into the autograph cards and so forth, but that's what's selling big. The autograph patches, low numbered, of these handful of players. Right. Yeah. And when you go on live through YouTube, the comments flash up and they don't stay up very long. So I apologize if I miss any. I know when you go on StreamYard, you don't have that. You have the comments stay up. I was trying to get Pepino Man to go live with me, and man, he's treating me like a Tinder date. He was all into it, and then he just ghosted me. I don't know what's going on. So what do we want to talk about today? The industry's changed so much. I try to get my head around it all. Change is, it's inevitable. Things are going to happen. Good idea. I don't have a second old phone, though. Chipotle? How is it? I haven't figured out what year that Sadaharu O disc is from yet. This is what he's referring to. Blank back. I know they made a bunch of different versions of this in different sizes. I don't know. I think it's around 77. Got this cool Bob Gibson. This is my first J publishing ever. I wasn't really into these growing up, just because I wasn't that into photos. But recently, I have a new appreciation, and I have a couple Clementes coming. You know, rainy days remind me of when I was a kid, because when I was young, we played ball every day. We had one field for football above my house. Down below, we had one field for baseball, and we had a basketball hoop on the street. I grew up in the country. And so on rainy days, that was reserved for flip cards, sorting cards, looking through our cards. And back in the old days, you know, this was the first baseball card book I ever got. And I couldn't believe I found a book for baseball cards, and I still have it. And it is still an exceptional read. If you ever can get your hands on one of these, a great book. They talk to Cy Berger, and he goes over the history of signing these players. He would sign them for $75, and he called it steak money. He said, go buy yourself a steak. And he goes into the story behind Maury Wills, and why he never had a Topps card until 1967, because the coaches didn't think he was going to make the team, so they didn't sign him to a contract, because he would go to spring training and try to sign the young guys. And that's Maury Wills, I guess, held a grudge for all those years and didn't sign with them until 1967. Things like that. But man, I just love looking at the old raw cards in raw form. Such a great book. And, you know, this is the first time I got to put eyes on a lot of great cards. And so when I grew up, you know, I wanted to acquire some of these cards I grew up looking at all my life. And so a lot of these were, you know, some of the first cards I ever bought. And I remember the first time I walked into they're convenience stores now. Back then they had they were like penny candy stores, and they sold magazines. And the first time I saw a baseball cards magazine. Oh, this Willie Stargell reminds me. Let me show you something. Got this t-shirt. If you guys are interested in some card shirts, they don't have every player. They have a smaller selection, but it's a company called Homage. And they sell a bunch of retro stuff, and they have a certain selection of baseball card t-shirts and Topps t-shirts and stuff like that. Pretty cool. Oh, let me show you this. If you were like me, and you're around my age, when you were a kid, you loved the movie The Bad News Bears. I got myself a Tanner jersey. And Chico's my nickname, so works out well. What else we got here? Hey, if you guys are interested, yeah, Homage. There have been a number of cards selling on eBay from the Eddie Stanky collection. It's from his personal collection. I don't know if there are any more left or not. I know Don from Don's Field of Dreams cards picked one up. I picked up three of them. Pretty cool to have cards from a player's collection. I got this really cool thing too. So have this Babe Ruth Gaudy Premium. I showed it several times on my channel. But I got this American League All-Stars, just with all those greats. Jimmy Fox, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Connie Mack, and these are stand-ups. And it's kind of tough to find them with it intact. So pretty neat Gaudi premiums. These are from 1934. Does anybody know what this is? Somebody sent me this. It's a Triple Crown chocolate pound cake with a Mickey Mantle facsimile signature on there. If anybody knows what this is from or what year, let me know. So what do you guys want to talk about? I got a Harry Heilman 1963 Bazooka Greats. Just got this. Ted Williams named him one of his top 20 all-time hitters. Harry Heilman. A lot of people probably aren't even familiar with him. I got this Cons Wieners, Jim Paglaroni. Came up with the Red Sox, then came to my Pirates. Pretty solid catcher. Got this with Najee Harris and Pat Freiermuth. For my Steelers. They've turned it around a little bit here. Weren't looking good to start out. Where do you think the hobby's going? You think prices are, I know they've come down a bit. What do you think's going to happen? Guys are quiet today. Guess I'm just going to have to show more cards. What can I show next? Let's look at some, you guys like cards from the teens and 1920s? Let's see what we have here. Oh, here's a 1928 Tharps ice cream. These are a very rare set. This is George Sisler. They had, so they had Yingling's ice cream, they had Harrington's ice cream, and Tharps. Tharps is the rarest of the three. And then they also had York caramels that were very similar to these cards. And here's a, and this is also similar. This is a 1931 W502 Rogers Hornsby. I think this is a Yinglings, Grover Alexander. We have a, what is this? A W502 again, Tony Lazzeri. You know, nobody wants these cards anymore. They want the autograph LeBrons. There's a Lloyd Wayner. Can't remember if Ichiro passed him, but he held the record for most hits by a rookie. And my man, Hack Wilson, 191 RBIs in a single season. They originally credited him with 190, but later added another one to his total. Here's a 1913 Lajoie game card. They made these in two different colors. I think there's a blue version and this version. Like these game cards. I have some more in displays, but here's a Cy Young. Home run Baker. Ichiro passed Lloyd. Okay, I thought he may have. This is just such a cool card. Miller Huggins. Eddie Collins. Got a Shoeless Joe Jackson, Honus Wagner up there. Trish Speaker. So I'm excited. I have 2 YouTubers coming into town that I can give a tour of my card room to. So I'm pretty excited for that. We got Lou Rock TV and B Roth 6 coming into town. Hope to get them on camera in my card room. And Stuffy McGinnis, the first baseman on the $100,000 infield. Got these quirky little old, they were like little playing cards. So you got Lefty Grove and Jimmy Fox. Babe Ruth. And Cy Williams. A lot of people don't know Cy Williams, and I always say, if you don't know Cy Williams, he's one of the best players you never heard of. He's one of only 3 players born before 1900 to amass 200 home runs. The other 2 guys are Babe Ruth and Rogers Hornsby. And here's Frank Schulte, and this is a Boston store. These are a little tough. No, I didn't see that. Here we have Jimmy Austin. He was one of the players on that in that book, Glory of Our Times, I think it was called, where they interviewed, it was in the early 60s, they interviewed a lot of the early 1900 players. He was one of them. And they released an audiobook that is the actual interviews, so you get to hear their voice. And really cool. Big Ed Walsh, last 40-game winner. Eddie Cicotti. Babe Adams. You could definitely argue that he could be in the Hall of Fame. Max Carey. I'm glad to hear that. Thanks for the comment. This is Adolfo Luke, one of the first early Cuban players. This is another Frank Schulte, 1916 M101. And here's a Billy. Guess he was a really good defensive catcher. And here's one where the grader was smoking crack. This is Ty Cobb. Just a beautiful example of this card. I've never seen a nicer one, and they gave it a 2. Oh, Zach Wheat. And this is cool because it almost looks like he's pitching. Love this card. And here's a Grover Alexander. I can't always remember the specific the specific designations for these strip cards. There's so many. A lot of them look similar. It's one nice thing about having them graded. They do that for you. We have these quirky little things. This is Walter Johnson. And who do we have here? This is Freddie Lindstrom. He was a really good third baseman, and he came over to Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh had Pie Traynor, probably the best third baseman of the time, so they moved him to the outfield. And Dazzy Vance. This is a cool one. Thanks. Love this shirt. Dave Parker for the Hall of Fame, baby. It's insane he's not in the Hall of Fame. Trish Speaker. Rogers Hornsby. Man, I got to put these all away. There's a... Getting away from me here. George Sisler. Zach Wheat. This is a tough set to find. This is the 1925 Universal Toys Novelty. Rogers Hornsby doesn't get enough love. Here's a Babe Adams. Here's a Grantham from my Pirates. Good player, but short career. This is cool. This is a Casey Stengel, and there's two versions of this. And I wanted the one that showed him with the Pirates. And ironically, probably the best game he ever played was the first game he ever played, and it was against the Pirates. He just killed them. And this is a cool Rogers Hornsby. And this one's interesting because it shows him as a shortstop, and it shows him batting left-handed. Goody G. But a really cool image. Here's Eddie Collins. This is a nice one. And we get into these. These were a multi-sport set, and they only had 4 baseball players. And I have all 4. We have Lou Gehrig, Harry Heilman, Tony Lazzeri, and Al Simmons, another great player. I think they had boxers and movie stars, if I'm not mistaken, in that set. And, of course, these are two that probably everybody knows. In 1929, Churchman showing Babe Ruth here. These old tobacco cards, I mean, they're just little works of art. And then this is the 1926 Boguslavsky Limited, showing George Sisler. And I'll show you guys something. I don't know, if you saw it on my channel before or not. But this is from 1878. Huntley and Palmer's Biscuits. Could be the first baseball card ever made. Because the cards that they say are the first cards are actually photographs. This is a card. No doubt about that this is a card. And this is just really blows my mind because this was made by a company in Paris and I think distributed in England. And baseball, was in the early beginnings back then. So pretty interesting. And I kind of like that it's celebrating baseball itself and not a specific player. Just really cool for that time. Oh, what do we want to look through next? You want to talk investing? 1948 American Babe Ruth? I don't think I'm familiar with that. Or it's not striking me. No, you don't want to talk card pricing? You guys familiar with these 1960 National Bank Tacoma Giants? It's Matty Alou. When he was in the minors. And Jose Pagan played on my 71 World Series championship team. These are tough. I want the Juan Marichal. They do look like a postcard, but it's not a postcard. A postcard is meant to be mailed. That's why it's called post. I got this set from Montgomery Club. Any of you a member? I join it every year. You get some things in the mail and they surprise you. There's Vlad. This is a pretty cool set. Real simple, black and white. Oh, post serial cards. I got a few of those laying around. Here's an Earl Wilson. Here's a Vernon Law. Here's Jacob deGrom. These, they're modern cards. They have kind of an old feel to me. Acuna. Now, do the Braves trade Acuna? Because they obviously don't need him, right? My God, what they could get for him. They could get a whole pitching staff. What has gone up in price? Post serial cards, maybe? Ohtani, my man. My favorite modern player. Altuve. That's good. They should have gone up a long time ago. You know, that's a wonderful thing about baseball. Can you imagine a player his size? Sorry about that. I got a telemarketing call. I don't know why the government can't do anything about those, and the robocalls and the hijackers and those horrible, horrible human beings that text you every day telling you can lose 70 pounds in 3 days. Anyway, then there's no other sport where a man his size could be one of the superstars. You know, one of the stars in the league. I mean, in football or basketball or even hockey, you wouldn't see it. It's a wonderful thing about baseball. Oh, you want some 74 Parkers? I'll show you some. You seen one of these? You seen them all, right? Seen them all, right? Just kidding. Just kidding. All right, let's look at some 74 Parkers. I think I have a couple. Let's see. Well, you know, the two big rookies in this set, or two of the biggest rookies, are Dave Parker and Dave Winfield. Then, I think I have some more Dave Parkers. Got this one. I like it raw. Got another Winfield. Yeah, I got a few Parker rookies. So when I was a little kid, I was a little kid when he was a rookie, and back then it was before anybody termed the word rookie card, like nobody cared. But he was the hot young player, replacing Clemente in right field. So we just wanted to get him. So we that's the first rookie card, and I like I said, it wasn't a rookie card per se to me, but that's the first rookie card I ever remember pursuing. And a lot easier to pursue a rookie card. A lot more fun when you're trying to get it out of packs. And a whole lot of fun when those packs were only 25 cents. Yeah. There's a lot of modern nice Parkers. I have some of them, but I'd rather have the vintage Parkers or any player really. Some of the new relics and autos are really cool cards though. I remember chasing the Kirk Gibson. Who remembers chasing him? Came to my Pirates for a while. Hey, did you guys ever see this? A 1969 box. Even better than this is a 1965 box. Goose Gossage in a Giants uniform doesn't exist to the best of my knowledge. I've actually been asked that a lot recently. I keep these in these little boxes here I get Hobby Lobby, so nothing happens to them. I love curating my collection. It's one of the more fun things. How awesome. It's Jackie Robinson, Mother's Cookies. Jackie Robinson pin. Just a cool image. Got a bunch of pins. Who had one of these growing up? Let me put this away before I drop it. Well, I probably should go work out. I don't know. I don't like going out in the rain. Got this old Hugh Duffy postcard here. I like to collect postcards that were actually sent. It's pretty interesting when you read them, what people had to say back then. Little piece of history. I have several different ones. Huey Jennings. Got that name wrong. Happens to me all the time. You guys like Burke Ross cards? Here's Eddie Wakus. Of course, the movie The Natural was loosely based on his life because he was shot by a deranged fan. So Robin Roberts, great pitcher. Got this old school Mariners hat recently. These are great. They didn't have very good teams, but their hats were cool. I was surprised that that Vegas got rid of this guy. I remember getting this set when he first came to the Penguins. They had a 4-card set. Sticks and Seams. You want to get together and do some nunchucks? Which Joe DiMaggio card do I consider his rookie? Well, it's a good question. I have a 1936 Wheaties. 30. I have this one too. This is a minor league picture of him. You can see he's wearing number 18. Gaudy Premium, I guess. But what I consider his rookie, man, it's one of my dream cards. And super, super expensive. And that is the 1936 Worldwide Gum card. And there's also a fantastic, beautiful Lou Gehrig in that set. That's also very, very high. So why not look at the 1936 Worldwide Gum set? If you're not familiar, this is what they look like. They were issued in Canada, distributed in Canada. Here's Dizzy Dean. Speedy DeRocher. And I love this because they call him Speedy. Charlie Ruffing, and I love this. He's batting. Mickey Cochran. Of course, Mickey Mantle was named after him. Chick Hafey. One of the more obscure Hall of Famers a lot of people know. My man Paul Wainer, he has the highest batting average, lifetime batting average in Pittsburgh Pirate history, higher than Honus Wagner. And Bill Terry, great player. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. Saying we have 3 of potentially the GOATs in the sports available. And why don't they do a card with, or a card series, I think he said, with Gretzky, Michael Jordan, and Tom Brady. It's an interesting idea. Here's Rip Collins. There were 2 Rip Collins. The other one was a pitcher. He was the better ball player of the 2. Gus Mancuso. And here's Burgess Whitehead. Ha, thanks. You know, I mean, I love new cards, and I still buy new cards, and I love modern cards, but I've always been fascinated with history, and I grew up just a baseball fanatic, of course, watching the great Steelers teams in the 70s, and then after Mario Lemieux came, a big Penguin fan and got into hockey, and so I'm a sports fan. And I mesh my history of sports, and I love cards. So, and cards meshes all that together because you have the cards, you have the history, and you have the sports themselves. And that's what I love about vintage. I love the learn about the old players. I love to know the statistics and trivia. And there's a little bit of history with every player, every card. It's one of the reasons that I'm saddened that the NFL changed the rules so dramatically over the years, because it really takes away from players like Johnny Unitas and their accomplishments, which, his 47 games in a row with a touchdown pass at one time was considered to be like Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak. Not anymore. He'll never hold any record. It won't even look impressive. Now they've added another game. Good morning from California. Do I have any Pele? Of course. I do have one other one, but it's tucked away in a box. But I have this one. And I love this. This is like my favorite. And it's, I believe it's either the last year actually, I think it's a year right after he retired. And he played for the Cosmos. But it's a little Progresso Foods circle disc. And it reminds me of the old Colgan's chips, because I love the Colgan's chips. Oh, I actually have two other Pelés. Yeah. But you got to have Pele in your collection if you're going to have all sports, right? I actually have a lot of other sports, but I don't always show them. Oh, thanks, Don. Talking about the Topps contracts I have. I got into collecting those for a while. They're kind of neat to have. Hey, Don, I'm going to show you something. I'm not sure you ever saw it before. You ready? You ready? It's a great pirate piece. It's an uncut sheet of signature cards. No, I didn't get the Rush Williams card yet. It's on my list to get. Hey, Don, how cool is this? You have tons of the uncut sheets? Hey, Don, you have any of these stand-ups? I don't know if do you collect football? I don't even know. I don't have any Z-Nuts. And, man, I've been looking recently. And Ken's Cardboard, what's up? There's, I mean, the ones that I would want are probably very expensive. I think the one, I think it's Z-Nut is Moses Yellow Horse, I think. NY Yanks Fan 7. Oh, my God. I mean, I spotted him for the first time. I couldn't believe it. I'm just used to seeing hands. What's up? Vince, I'm shocked because I would have never guessed you were Italian. Here's the Lynn Swan. That was a fun video. I told you Bigfoot wears a t-shirt that says, I spotted NY Yanks Fan 7. That's how rare of a sighting it is. Hey, Don, did I show you this? Can't remember. I went to Steve Blass's baseball camp. What a blast that was. He made us watch his World Series games every night after dinner. Oh, nice. I've been trying to go live. Everybody keeps blowing me off. I don't blame you. Don, I think this is from 1966, I believe. But it's missing one of the tassels here. Not easy to find these, though. What modern cards should you be investing in? I'm not going to say specific cards because there's so many and ones of ones that I'm not going to know. But the three young players that I think 10 years from now you'd be happy to own is Kyler Murray, Wander Franco, and Juan Soto. Those, I'm going to keep this recording. And in 5 or 10 years, let's look at that. You know, what's interesting about cards, and for those of us who have been doing it for a long time, you know, you have these players that come up and they're highly touted and you load up on them and so forth, and then they end up doing nothing. Or you have a player who comes out the gate and just looks like he's going to be the next Mickey Mantle and doesn't do anything. And you see it in every sport, especially football in a big way, baseball too. But you'll see somebody like, for instance, Colin Kaepernick. His rookie season, you know, went to the Super Bowl, was running all over everybody. They did away with, they let did Alex Smith to make room for him. And then he just, couldn't win a game, couldn't complete a pass. He was totally terrible after that. But his rookie season, you know, you might have loaded up on his cards. And Josh Gordon, everybody was so high on him. And what happened, he just kept getting into trouble. And we've never really got to see him play too much. Martavius Bryant from my Steelers, same way. Exceptional talent. And, you don't even know about him now. And throughout history, it's been this way. So, but sometimes, once you wait till they're a superstar, they're really good, then they're too expensive. So it's fun to do some prospecting. There's no doubt about it. It's fun. And I load up on them, especially some of my Steelers over the years. And man, they look like they're going to be so phenomenal. And you end up with a stack of cards you can't give away. I didn't, but what a great goal scorer he is. You think he's the best player in hockey, McDavid? Or you think Kucherov? Or Crosby? Or Ovechkin? Oh, nice. NY Yanks Fan 7. If you're not subscribed, you should subscribe. He's going to do a prophecy video. You think McDavid right now? Better than Kucherov? McDavid's probably the best scorer. Yeah. Seems unanimous, McDavid. He's a great player. Who remembers when boxing was a thing for the MMA? Oh, you're a Flyers fan? Man, that's like the Penguins' nemesis team right there. Yeah, Henry Ruggs. Another example, there was a Chris Henry for Cincinnati back in the day. You just never know. And there was some, a lot of ball players that died right after they won Rookie of the Year, whatever. And you don't want to make light of their tragedies, but as a collector, you years later, nobody knows who maybe Ken Hubbs is, for instance, or Tony Congligliero, players like that who got hurt, or Herb Score. Yeah, with MMA coming on, boxing just isn't what it used to be. I don't know. Can you name the heavyweight champ now? I can't even do that. We had guys like Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. They were larger than life figures. In fact, Dave Parker is considered to be the Muhammad Ali of baseball because he was very boisterous and braggadocious. One of the reasons I think maybe he's not in. I know he had the little cocaine scandal, but who didn't in the 80s? I mean, everybody was doing it. He just got one of the players that got caught, right? It's kind of like NFL substance abuse. Once you get caught, you're tested all the time. Well, how many people aren't tested that are doing the same thing? They just didn't get caught. And why is marijuana even a banned substance in the NFL? It's not like it's going to make you play better. I mean, you're going to forget where you're driving. You might not even make it to the game. It makes you lethargic and I mean, it's not improving your performance. And a high percentage of the NFL players do it. So why are we even testing for that? Plus, it's legal in several states. Yes, Hubbs does have a memorial card in 1964. 64 tops. So he has the 62 as rookie, the 63, and the memorial card. And I was always surprised they didn't do that for Clemente. It's pretty unbelievable that they did not honor him with a card. And I'm not just saying that because he's my favorite player. Did you ever hear of Hooks Wilst? Supposed to be the first player that had a better curveball than a fastball. He had I guess, an exceptional curveball back in the day. And speaking of that, whatever happened to the screwball? I mean, you had little screwball pitchers. Carl Hubble. I think Walter Johnson threw it. Fernando Valenzuela. Mike Marshall. Man, I'm missing a couple, but there were some great screwball hitters. They all had long careers, and they all were amongst the best pitchers that ever played. And I know back in can't remember what year. I think it might have been 2014. There was a study done to see the how it affected the arm, if it put more strain on the arm, because I believe that's why pitchers don't throw it anymore. Is that belief? But the study showed that it didn't put any more strain than a fastball. So whatever happened to the screwball? Oh, I did not know. I think I did know that he was on another card after his death. Mistakenly. I forgot about that. I have to look that up now. Brushing his teeth before any. Oh, the 66 card. Yeah. It's coming back to me now. Is there any knuckleball throwers in this era? That's a great question. I don't think so. Man, I was a huge Tim Wakefield fan, and I got to go to spring training when he was with the Pirates. And I went right up to him. I had a ball. I was getting some signatures, and I said, I want you to sign this where you hold your knuckler. So I was such a big fan, and he did for me. So I have it. It got a little dirty over the years. I'm a little sad about that. Tim Wakefield, the Pirates went to 3 straight championship games, and they lost all 3 because they didn't have a closer. We had a closer named Stan Belinda, and he just couldn't get the job done, and we had no closer, and they would be winning all these games, and every series went to 7 games, and every series we lost at the very end because we couldn't stop anybody. And Tim Wakefield pitched brilliantly. Atlanta could not hit him, and we won every game he pitched. I missed that. Man, I didn't catch that fast enough. You're asking me something about what I want to see with my collection. I don't know if you could put that back up again. Kent Colby, right? Yeah, went to the Phillies. I got to have lunch with him. He's a nice guy. It's funny because I said I was asking him about on his rookie card he wears number 50, and I was asking him if he remembers, wearing number 50 or why that changed or whatever, and he didn't even remember wearing it until I brought it up to him. Bob Walk, yeah, solid pitcher. So, you want to talk more about NFTs? I'll bet you, Vince, you're probably investing in NFTs. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of those where Topps puts the wrong person. In '69, they used the the Bat Boy as a photo. They mistaken the guy, Rodriguez, I think. What was his name? Elio Rodriguez, something like that. I could dig it out. And there's old tobacco cards that show a different Young, and it says that it's Cy Young. And there's a Bill Terry. I can't remember. It's one of the ice cream cards, Yingling's ice cream, or one of those. Shows Bill Terry, but it's a different player. It's not Bill Terry. So that has gone on. There's a Paul Wainer card that actually shows either Grantham or another pirate. So that's pretty common. What about Andrew McCutcheon? When I pass away, what would I like to see happen with my collection? That's a good question. I mean, I've always wanted to do a museum. The Baseball Hall of Fame kind of beat me to it. Actually, they're using a lot of the same ideas I had too. And I have an idea for sports card cafe. That's what it's called. Sports card cafe that has cards throughout all the tables, and it's a nice family place, and you serve stadium food and play old ball games and famous old games, and you have a room secondary where you can have signings and little card shows and events, stuff like that. And then I thought I could franchise it out to guys who have big collections like me, and that'd be an interesting idea. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe I'll donate them somewhere so I can auction them off and raise money for a good cause. We will see. I don't have anyone in my family that wants them. I'm sure they probably wouldn't mind the money, but I don't have anybody close to me that wants them. So probably end up donating them. All right, I think I might have to go work out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dawn, I got you now. This is something that's not so easy to find. The 84 Fleer Glenn Hubbard. Man, a lot of these things are coming back to me. It's sounding familiar. I just can't remember all of them. And as you get older, your mind isn't what it used to be. And the other thing is, I have over 100,000 cards now, and there's a lot more info in my brain to keep track of. A lot of these, 5 years ago even, a lot of the cards I have, a lot of the players I have, a lot of the knowledge I have of the cards and the players I didn't have. So my brain's getting filled up. The veteran players for December 5th, I think there are some great players on there that should be considered. I've always felt like Bad Bill Dalen should be in the Hall of Fame. One of the best shortstops of the time. Most people mispronounce his name Dahlin, but it's actually Dalen is how you pronounce it. He's one. Bob Carruthers, 1800s pitcher. He should be in. He's not on that list, but he should be in. Does the Snake TTM? Kenny Stabler? I think he's still alive. I'm pretty sure. Great quarterback, great fun to watch. Here's a Lynn Swan autograph I got as a kid. He's the toughest autograph because he believes that people will sell his autograph. And so he's a tough signer. I have a mini helmet too back here. But I got this when I was a little kid. And back then, you know, you just wanted their signature. You didn't really give a lot of thought about taking a card or doing any of that. And they were giving out these, the other side of this is a team photo. And so I got him to sign that. And I got him to sign my Little League hat, which probably doesn't carry any value, but it's all I had on me. My mom took me there, and all I had on me was my Little League hat, which I wore 24/7. And so I got him to sign my hat, and then he signed that. But he was my favorite football player growing up. I don't believe there's a better wide receiver once he left his feet in the air than Lynn Swan ever. 7 partial reps. I did that. They're called, I call them 21s. They're brutal. I went on a whole regimen there for a while doing those. There's another one where, like, if you have an ailing body part like a bicep, that you do 30 reps every single day. Just one set of 30 reps every day for like 10 days in a row. Just to shock it. I've tried all that stuff over the years. I was a student of that, and my wife worked for GNC, and I used to hang out with the bodybuilding champions of the world. Marc-Andre Fleury. Yeah, he's going to go down in history as a great, no doubt. Orange Theory. Man, it sounds familiar, but I know. I need somebody to tell me. If this was interactive and people could talk to you, I would go live like every day. It's tough reading the comments, and I know when I watch live, typing them in, like, we need something more interactive. What's brutal? Canton Card Collector, what's brutal? Oh. See, my memory, I already forgot what we were talking about, working out. Yeah, the 21s are brutal. Now, I do, the one thing that's always been the most successful for me has been drop-down sets. And that is where you do a heavy amount of weight, you know, anywhere from 6 to 15 reps. You drop down, keep going, drop down, keep going to failure. And you do several sets of those. Or you go straight down, rest just a couple seconds, and go back up. Just absolutely brutal. Very cardio heavy too. But I think I digress with the workout comments. So in the modern era, you think the Colts 45 logo would get banned? Yeah, so this is Boog Powell, and this is Eric Davis, and that's Al Oliver, and this is a game-used hat of Gary Templeton, and he signed it underneath. I was a Gary Templeton fan. I know, a lot of people weren't when he flipped off the crowd for getting on him. I was a fan of his, although I won't argue that the Cardinals made out in that trade with Ozzie Smith. But I did like Gary Templeton, and I love his 1977 Topps card. One of my all-time favorite looking cards. I don't know why. But I was a fan of his as a kid. And I remember, and I just got this, when I was little, I remember when they came out with this stuff. The Lumber Company for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And they would all stand there with their bats. Oscar Gamble had the best hair in all of baseball. That 76 Topps traded card. Awesome. Now, who had the best ears in baseball? I'd say Don Mossy. Yeah, Ty, I love that card too. I have the O-Pee-Chee version, which doesn't have, the Topps version has the trophy. The O-Pee-Chee version doesn't have that. Yeah, I miss those days when the Pirates actually mattered too. Major League Baseball just needs to strip them of that franchise, because if you want to be a farm team, then go be a farm team. Yeah, so I got Sangi. Yeah. Kevin Blackhurst, what's up? Kevin sells some good cards. Got a lot of Pirates cards off of you over the years. I don't buy a whole lot of new ones anymore, to be honest with you, but you sent me a nice care package too. I don't know if you saw the video I did thanking you. Sid Bream cannot be an all-time Pirate because he came back to haunt us in that playoff game, man. He cost us from going to the World Series. Slowest runner on the planet, and he ran those bases. Unreal. He had 2 bad knees. Nice. Yeah, it broke our heart because I was a Sid Bream fan. Hey, Don, do you remember Jason Thompson? At one time, he was our home run hitter. And he only had like 1 or 2 good years, but he was good for that 1 or 2 years, and they were with Pittsburgh, came from the Tigers. But he was, we were in like a transition period, and he was our home run hitter after Stargell left. Marvell Wynn. I remember when he came up, center fielder, leadoff hitter. I liked Marvell Wynn. And I remember when Barry Bonds came up, and he was a skinny little leadoff, choke up on the bat, and he was more of that guy that got on base and stole. Johnny Ray. So this is his game-used bat behind me, and I believe it's the bat that he's using in that baseball card. Possibly even a rookie card. It has the yellow stripes. I was a huge Johnny Ray fan. I think it was Steve Sachs who beat him out for Rookie of the Year. I believe Johnny Ray was the better player all around. He was a really good, solid hitter. Larry McWilliams was a good pitcher. Yeah, who did he all play for? He played for St. Louis, the Pirates. Did he play for I think he played for the Yankees too, right? He was a solid pitcher, Larry McWilliams, definitely. Lefty. He played for the Braves? Yeah, that's right, he did. Dave Parker for the Hall of Fame, baby. Al Oliver, too. Wally Backman, good player. He was good. A lot of these guys were good, but weren't good for 20 years. And that's the only thing the Hall of Fame cares about. If you were good for 24 years. I do not have that Johnny Ray era card depicting him as Barry Bonds. I tried to get one at one time. I was on the prowl. But man, that thing's just so expensive. Jose De Leon. Now that is a guy people don't talk about much. I personally watched him throw 2 or 3 one-hitters. He came so close to multiple no-hitters. And I saw him live at the stadium. Jose De Leon was a great pitcher. He played for the Cardinals in addition to the Pirates. And I'm not sure who else he played for. But he is a pitcher a lot of people won't know. And he was a really good pitcher. But another guy that didn't, he didn't pitch for 25 years. I'm surprised you know him. I thought I was the only one that still remembers him. Ed Ott. Very solid catcher for us. And he holds the distinction of having the shortest name in baseball history. Had to get an autographed copy of his rookie card. Ed Ott. You can still picture him batting. He went 2-19 for the Pirates in '85. No way. John Tudor, yeah. He was good too. Cecilio Guante, is that who you're going to say? Well, maybe he had one bad year, but I mean, I don't know if you watched the 85 Pirates, but they sucked. You can't always go by wins. If you're on a terrible, terrible team, that's what made Vernon Law such an amazing pitcher. He won games on terrible teams. The 1952 Pirates, one of the worst, 51, 52, one of the worst teams ever assembled. Oh, Richie Zisk was a heck of a hitter. I've been on the prowl for his bat, and I couldn't find one. I have Dave Parker. I have Bill Robinson here. I have the Hitman, Mike Easler. I have Al Oliver, Bill Madlock, four-time batting champ. But I have Richie Hebner. I have not been able to find a Richie Zisk. Anybody has one, let me know. Man, I don't remember that name. Richie Allen for the Hall of Fame. I guess he liked to be called Dick. He said Richie sounded like a little kid. I never got to watch him. John Candelaria, fantastic pitcher. Fantastic. Again, he did not have a super long career. Wasn't, man, he was solid with the Pirates. When I played in Three Rivers Stadium, he came ahead of the game, and he was running the stadium stairs over and over again. I'm like, how's he going to have any energy to pitch? He was conditioning himself, a big guy. What was he? He was a Puerto Rican player, right? I think he was for Puerto Rico. If I'm not mistaken, was he the first pitcher from Puerto Rico? I think he was. I could be wrong, though. Yeah. Yeah, the old Pirates, when they used to be competitive year in and year out. I mean, you don't have to win every year, but at least be competitive. Be in the running. And then we finally got good again. And 2 of the 3 years they go to the playoffs, they're in that one-game playoff, which, man, you might as well just flip a coin sometimes. But the problem with the one-game playoff is if you go up against a pitcher who is in the zone, you lose. So the first year they went up against Madison Bumgarner. The guy at the time, maybe still, had never lost a postseason game. And then the next year he throws like a one-hitter or something. And the next series we go up against Jake Arrieta. And he throws a one-hitter, shuts us out, and just to throw salt on the wound, hits a home run on us too. Elroy Face still holds the record for second all-time wins in a row. And the funny thing about Elroy Face is he would give the lead up and then get it back and get the win. But only Carl Hubble has more consecutive wins than Elroy Face. One of the first, one of the early closing specialists. Elroy, he was a small guy too. All right, guys. Think I'm going to have to, I'm getting a little hoarse. Think I'm going to have to break down and go do a little exercise. It gets hard to stay in shape when you can be my age. But I want to thank y'all for watching and try to do it again. And Vince, let me know if you have any advice on NFTs. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.